So if you've been struggling to get your paid advertising to work for you, then this video is going to show you how to almost guarantee its success moving forward. So whether you have been sold the make money online dream where you can just magically sell products and make money with Facebook ads, or if you've been sold the scaling dream where your most recent coach has told you that the next level to unlock your scale is to use Facebook to get more customers, then it's very likely that you've probably tried, spent a little bit of money, failed, and you've probably labeled Facebook ads as they don't work anymore. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make them work, and it comes down to these three things on the board. And I can say that because our agency works with some of the biggest coaches and influencers in the online space, and over the last few years, we've generated over $20 million for our clients with paid advertising. So let's get into the good stuff then. We got 1, 2, 3. So point number one is a T. It stands for tests. So the more tests that you make, the more money that you make. You see, what most people do when they're starting out with paid advertising is that they'll make a few videos, they'll make a few different images, they'll write a few different pieces of copy, they'll run it, they'll spend money, it doesn't make them money back, and then they will give up, right? And again, they will label it as ads don't work anymore. But people dramatically underestimate the volume of tests that they need to make inside the ads manager to find a winner. Let's say, for example, you are single and you are on Bumble, right? If you download the Bumble app and you swipe, is it swipe left or swipe right? What's the match?
I think it's right.
Okay, let's say it's right, I think, right? Let's say you swipe right 4 times. What are the chances that you get a match and you go out on a date? Well, when you look like this, not very high, okay? But if I swipe right continuously and do lots of volume and do more tests, then I increase the chances, and it's very likely that I am going to eventually find a match. And it's the same with advertising. The more tests that you make, the more money that you make. Obviously, if you're fucking ugly, then I can't help you. You're probably not going to get a match. But with advertising, usually, if you continue the process and make more tests, you make more images, make more videos, create more pieces of copy, test in different angles, you will make more money. But most people, they don't do that. Step number 2, right, is MBM, which is what we call the media buyer mindset. So a little bit linked to step number 1 is that what most people do, again, is that they will start launching ads inside of their ads manager. They'll get all excited because they're like, oh, I'm gonna make loads of money, I'm gonna get loads of customers. But what happens is, if we look at this graph here, right, this is the dollar that is spent, right, the profit. So we've got plus and we got minus. And here we've got time, but we've also got the knowledge. So obviously the more time that you spend running ads, the more knowledgeable and the better that you're going to get. But what most people do is that they start spending money and they get to this point here and then they give up because they can't handle seeing the money go out of their account every single day, every single week, every single month. They get scared and they stop. And again, they label it as ads don't work anymore. But what you got to understand is that you need to have the mindset to be able to go into the red first. It's basically like a learning tax, right? You have to pay the learning tax. And what happens is, if you have the mindset and you stay the course and you go past the point at which most people give up, which is about here, you are going to lose money, right? But eventually, your knowledge and time in the game increases. So what happens is you reach a point around here where you've maybe lost, and it's dependent on niche, but you've maybe lost a few $1,000s, maybe even some of you have lost $10,000, $15,000, whatever it is. But if you keep going and keep making improvements and keep making more tests, then you will eventually hit a point where you will bounce back up very quickly. And the incline is much steeper and quicker than the initial decline. So, okay, you will lose money for a prolonged period of time, but eventually you will make it all back quicker than you spent it or lost it. But the problem is that most people don't get to this point. They give up before. So you need to have what we call the media buyer mindset. So if you're watching this right now and you don't have at least a couple of $1,000s to spend on advertising to basically pay the learning tax, then you need to get the hell away from the ads manager, because you shouldn't be running ads and you need to get a client or need to get a job. I don't know, right? But that's what you need to do. Number 3, we've got B here. So this stands for Backend. Okay, so story time with Sam now. A couple of years ago, started working with a client. He was an online coach, had a few different courses, and we started running a low ticket funnel with ads. So I think the initial course was like 21 bucks, had a few order bumps, upsells, downsells, etc., etc. The average order value was around 40 bucks, okay? And we were running ads to this. We did this for a couple of months. And at the end of the couple of months, we were pretty much breaking even, okay? So we were spending, I think we were spending about 500 bucks a day, so about 15K a month, and we were making about 15K back, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less, but about break even. Now, for you watching this video, break even might not sound very good to you. You'd be like, well, that's not very good because we're not making any money. But let me tell you this, we have a low ticket funnel. If you're running ads to it, breaking even is an incredible result. You can't really ask for much more than that. Most people get into the online game and they're like, oh, I'm gonna make money selling like $5 ebooks, or I'm gonna sell my low ticket course for $20. I'm gonna make millions of dollars on autopilot with Facebook ads. Don't wanna crush your dream, but that's not gonna happen. So we were about 2 months in and the funnel was working, the ads were working well. Yes, we could have optimized maybe a little bit more, but there's only so much you can do. If you're breaking even on the front end with ads to a cold audience, you're doing a good job. But the problem is that we still weren't making any money, right? And the reason why is because we didn't have a back end, right? So I spoke to the client and I said to them, hey, look, everything's working. We're doing a really good friggin' job, but we do need to upsell the customers onto something more expensive for you to make money. And for whatever reason, the client didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do group coaching. He didn't want to do one-on-one. You know, we could have easily sold those customers like a 2 to 5K product, but he didn't want to do that. So we basically had to stop the funnel, and it haunts me to this day because that funnel could have made that guy millions of dollars if he had just implemented a back end. Now, even though I'm disappointed with that, we still broke even. But what most people do is that they don't break even and they will lose money. And again, they will label it as ads don't work anymore. When in reality, it's not that ads don't work, it's that you don't work or your business doesn't work. And in that instance, with that client, his business didn't work because the back end wasn't there. And the cool thing about this, if you go from low ticket to a high ticket back end, you only need a couple of sales for the most part to actually get that ad spend back as quickly as possible. Let's just say, for example, worst case scenario, you ran ads for a low ticket product and okay, you got hundreds of customers, but you were still losing money. Let's just say you weren't very good at ads, first time you've ever writing copy, it was all shit, right? And you lost, say, 5K in your first month. Well, guess what? All you need to do, to break even, this is not very good. That does say a 5, okay? So all you need to do is sell a 5K product and you've already broken even. And in most cases, that will make a lot of you profitable. So that's why I said up at this point, the incline after you basically pay your learning tax is much steeper, because what you can do is when you start selling more expensive products on the back end, it can make all of this back very, very quickly. Say you spend 5, 10K a month on ads and say you lose it all, but you still get customers, then again, you just need 1 or 2 of those customers to upgrade to a more expensive product and you've made all your money back, okay? So to recap, make more tests, you need the media buyer mindset, and you need to make sure that you have a back end before you start running ads. If you're just running ads with low ticket products, then you're just going to lose your money. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later.